Alright, so this is a tomato review on the Lucky Tiger tomato. I've done reviews last year on the Lucky Tiger, and we're going to revisit it again this year because I think my Lucky Tiger died out early last year, so I couldn't give it a full review, but we'll visit again this year, and then that way it's on file. So generally the Lucky Tiger is a weeping willow type tiger. Wait a minute here. Let me see. Am I looking at this the right way? Yeah, the Lucky Tiger is basically a weeping regular leaf. That's what I like to refer to it as, because the leaves like to come out like this and then they hang down like a weeping willow tree. So I call it weeping. I don't know any other way to describe it. It's basically a regular leaf, but within that regular leaf they weep. So it's different in that sense. In other words, you look at the leaf, it doesn't look like this. Okay, this is kind of this is a regular leaf, but it kind of sticks straight out like that. Whereas this type of leaf system, they're very sawtoothed and they hang down, they weep down. So that is the type of tomato that the Lucky Tiger is. And we're going to pick some of these right now. And this is another tomato that's a very, very good producer. Makes quite a bit of tomatoes. And I generally, even when a plant is under a lot of stress, it still produces tomatoes. Pretty good amount of them too. I mean, they're all the way back there. I'm going to have to put the camera down to pick those. But this is generally what the Lucky Tiger looks like. And these are blushing quite a bit. Normally they're more green than this, but they will blush like this if you let them fully ripen the way I do. I mean, you can see some real pearling on those tomatoes. Look at that one tomato right here. Look at the pearling on that tomato. Beautiful pearling effect. And I love this blotchy effect to it. Okay, so this is another plant that was successfully never added to the Plant Variety Protection Act. So it's free to sell seeds on it, but I think at one time the application was submitted. Several thousands of dollars later, they decided to remove it because they were just dragging their heels and it wasn't protecting the grower from their variety protection. It's not really designed. If you're a tomato grower and you're looking to protect your specific cross, and you know you think you're going to go and apply for a Plant Variety Protection Act's designation number, you're going to be sadly disappointed that it's not really designed for you. That is more or less used by the big agri systems like Monsanto and Sunset and all of these companies that sell their varieties of foods that they genetically alter in some degree, and then the Plant Variety Protection Act really protects them. It's not really for us, the smaller farmer or gardener, if you will, to protect us. It has nothing to do. They'll use your seed variety, they'll change one little gene in it, and then there's really no way you're going to be able to patent it. The only thing you can protect in a case like this is the guy who protected the name Lucky Tiger can get a patent on the name and not the actual PVP number. So just keep that in mind if you're going to cross your own tomatoes and you're going to make them available to the public. There's really no way you can actually lock in that variety to protect you and you're going to be an exclusive grower of it. It's not going to happen, and you're not going to really stop people from doing it. So to me, I'll tell you right firsthand that it's a waste of time and money and energy. So your best way to do it is to make it open source, but more importantly is to just make sure you get the recognition as the creator of the tomato or that particular variety of vegetable that you crossed and created. And the way you do that is there's ways to do that. I'm not going to get into it in this video, but you would want to go about doing it that way. Forget about the PVP. That's garbage. They don't even help you even if you do report a violation. Don't waste your money on it. So these are not PVP, and that's about all I can really say about it. I think the tomato creator's name was Tom Wagner. I will double check that, and then we'll talk about it up front. All right, so we'll see you at the table. Okay, so this is a tomato review for the Lucky Tiger tomato for 2018. I did a review last year on this tomato and I was absolutely in love with this tomato. So I figured let's revisit the tomato. Alright, so now this is a tomato creation, I believe, by Tom Wagner. I gotta double check that. Don't hold me to it. I have to look it up online and see if it's one of his creations. I could be wrong. I will find the proper name for who the creator is. I actually talked to him in a tomato forum, so he watched one of my videos and he talked to me a little bit about it. But it's not a PVP tomato. It's not protected by the Plant Variety Protection Act or anything like that, so I could sell these seeds if I want. Well, let me give you a better look at the tomato itself. Hopefully that's showing up. It might be blurry by now, but that's what it looks like. And here I cut it long ways so you can see what it looks like long ways on that tomato. And that's what it looks like there. And we're going to do a bricks on it right now. Now this is up there in my favorite, I don't know, grape tomatoes. I got favorite tomatoes of all kinds. Well, I do have favorites in each category. Cherry tomatoes, currant tomatoes, grape tomatoes, beefsteak tomatoes, ugly tomatoes. I have like number ones for each one of those categories. Now this is really juicy. You can see the liquid just pouring out of that thing. Okay, it's an 8 on the bricks, which is not bad, to be honest with you. That's actually a good number. 8 and above is usually rock star as far as getting, getting the best flavor and sweetness out of something. But let's give this a bite. I'll take it out of this one. Wow, that's sweet. That one specifically tastes like it may have been on the plant a little too long. Let me cut another one off. An incredible amount of sweetness. I believe he said that it was crossed with a black cherry tomato. I don't remember exactly what he said. It was something crossed with a black cherry. He told me and I don't remember. But yeah, you can taste that black cherry flavor coming out of this tomato. So, again, that's what it's going to look like. These are absolutely delicious tomatoes. These are up there in my top favorite tomatoes. I mean, I have a lot of top favorite tomatoes. When you get tomatoes that are really sweet, I can't rate those low. When the sweet tomatoes to me is something special. There are times I don't like sweet tomatoes, but when I'm snacking on tomatoes in the garden and I'm just foraging for my tomatoes, I like them sweet, and that sugar really does carry me through the day. In fact, that's all I eat. A lot of times during the tomato season, I don't really eat anything else but tomatoes and whatever else is ready in the garden. Outside of that, that's it pretty much. I don't cook meals. I don't do any of that. I'm just eating everything I can out of my garden. And I really like to enjoy doing that with stuff I like to eat, like really sweet tomatoes. I mean, there's no way you can actually compare that to anything. It's so delicious. But this is one of my favorite tomatoes. Now is this considered a grape tomato? I really don't know. It's a kind of a hybrid shape. I mean, I think he was also the creator of this one as well. And this is called the blush tomato. So I'm not sure. He created a few of these types. There's a very sharp point on the end of it that will poke a hole in your eyeball. But I don't know if these are really considered grape tomatoes because there is a separate. These are like a separate type of a shape. I mean, doesn't really look like a grape tomato because of the point on the end, the very sharp architecture that comes off. Grape tomatoes are not normally that sharp in architecture. They don't have that steepness to it. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, they're just beautiful tomatoes. Again, that's what it looks like. Trying to get you a good view of that. Look at the beautiful pattern on that tomato. Now, there's the Lucky Tiger, and I think there's the Green Tiger. This is the sweeter of the two. But I grow both of them, and by far I love this one the best. This one's definitely up there. Now I do like the Green Tiger as well. I do like that one, but This one's definitely, if I was to have a choice between them, I'd be growing this one. So, like I say, it is an indeterminate tomato. It is considered a grape tomato, if I'm not mistaken, but in my world, I don't consider this a grape tomato. This is definitely something a little different. You know, that point on the bottom changes that for me. It is a regular leaf plant. It is indeterminate. And so that's it. That's your tomato review for the Lucky Tiger. If I get enough, I do have a bunch more in there. If I can get enough of these without, when I tell you, if I'm telling you, I'm looking to get enough of them, even though the plant might have 50 or 60 tomatoes on it, I'm eating half of those. I'm eating more than half of them. I'm eating them every time I walk out there. So it's really hard for me to save seeds. That's why sometimes I don't offer seeds for certain varieties of tomatoes, because I eat them all. If they're that good, I'm going to eat them. So I have to sacrifice a certain amount of tomatoes in order for me to be able to provide you with seeds. So, but we'll see how many I get. If I get enough, I'll offer some seeds. I'll build a web page and put them up there and make them available. All right? Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.